This episode of From Tops to Bottoms contains strong language, content of a sexual nature, and stuff that will probably offend your nan. Hello, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, and welcome to our very first episode of From Tops to Bottoms. My name's Sam.
And my name is Cassie, and welcome to the first ever episode. We will be discussing things like sex, feminism, queer life, all the fun things that make your dad roll his eyes in the
pub. Now that we've kind of got a little bit of the awkward bit out of the way, I think we should just talk a little bit about ourselves before we kind of delve into the really good shit. So as I said, my name's Sam. I'm 28. I'm just about to turn 29. And I am a teacher, and I'm currently living in China in the middle of this global pandemic. Which is why we're doing this podcast over Skype instead of in person, because, you know, 7,500 miles is a bit of a commute for a podcast.
I can barely make it down the road for work. I am not coming to Beijing for a podcast.
Jesus. I also run my own Instagram, which is @SamanthaInBJ, if you are interested. I upload China-related and butt plug related content on there.
I have to say, her butt plug related content is some of my favourite content I have ever seen.
Well, cheers to that. I also run samanthanicole.co.uk when I can be asked to write, because, you know, sometimes you just can't be asked. But yeah, that's
relatable.
Yeah, that's me.
Me, I am 22. Honestly, my brain just malfunctioned. I forgot my age, as always. I'm 22. I live in England, so not quite as exciting as our Sam. However, I did live in China for a bit. That's where me and Sam met. Yep. I am going to university in September to do adult nursing in hopes to one day become a sexual health nurse / sex therapist. That is the dream. I run a sex education blog and Instagram, and both of them are radicallove.co.uk. My mum is blocked from both of those, just so you know. And I am also would you call it the founder, Sam? The founder of MSAS?
Yes, I absolutely would.
I feel like I am flexing when I say that, but I made MSAS, which is Merseyside Sexual Assault Support. And I am a big fat queer.
What a note to end that on.
If you're going to take anything away from this, it's that I'm a queer.
Yeah.
As is Sam. You should have mentioned Sam. Me and Sam are both queers. You're in a queer space here, guys. So if you're not a fan of that, then
get out.
Show yourself the door.
Yeah.
While we're on that, actually, I know Sam has something to say about, while we're on that, we are in the middle of a global pandemic and in the middle of a massive human rights movement, and J.K. Rowling and the UK government have just gone on a huge tirade against trans folk. So I just want to say that something that's become really important in my life, and I'm sure with Sam.
Absolutely.
I don't stand for any of that. I know Sam doesn't stand for any of that, and I am not about to have followers or friends or acquaintances that
are transphobes.
Yeah, or racists, or support anything like that, or all lives matter. Please show yourself the door. There's no skin off my back. Is that the saying?
Skin off my nose.
Is it?
Yeah. I mean, all of them work,
back, teeth. I mean, honestly, it's no skin off my tits, so...
So, see ya.
But yeah, now we got that out the way.
So now all the TERFs have left. Do you remember the first time we properly met each other?
Properly, or the first time we seen each other?
Both.
So the first time I remember seeing you with Lush, because we've got that picture together for an event. So me and Sam knew each other through the blogging scene in Liverpool. So we go to events together, but I wasn't fully immersed in blogging life, really, was I? You were you know everyone there, and you you're friends with them all.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I just wasn't. But I do remember seeing you. I do remember seeing you a lot at the Easter one in the hotel, Hope Street Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And you were with
he who shall not be named, my ex-partner.
Yes. I remember that, and I remember seeing you at the chicken one.
Oh yeah, Yard and Coop. The chicken one. Yard and Coop. Oh yeah, when I tweeted you and I was like, big up Cassie today in her yellow pants.
You were like, a massive shout out to Cassie today in her yellow pants, looks stunning. And I remember getting home and being like, thank you so much, because I was trying to impress a girl that day. So when you were like, when you tweeted that, I was like, oh my god, succeeded.
That's
yes, she may stomp on my heart in a couple of weeks, but at least Sam will look fit.
That's me, hype man from day one.
Literally, actually. Yeah. But yeah, I remember. Do you know what? I told Sam this a couple of weeks ago, and she was like screaming. But it's true. So Sam used to come to the bloggers events. Now these bloggers events, right? Just to back myself up a little bit here, like we used to get a ticket for these bloggers events. Like our friends would like host these events, and like a lot of brands would come to them, so you needed a friggin' ticket. And Sam would come every time with their partner, like, and I'd be like, why? And it's not a big deal. Like it wasn't like, ew, why is he here? But it was like, why? Like for him to have a ticket,
why is he here?
There must be a reason. And the only reason I came to was that he was your carer.
I can't believe that was your first... I mean, I can believe that was your first jump, because I need looking after most of the time, to be honest. I clearly cannot be left alone for more than 10 minutes without doing something incredibly self-destructive.
I remember standing there with me vodka like, why does she need a carer? That's really interesting. And I was like, I don't know this girl, but like, is he her boyfriend and her carer, or is he just her carer? But he used to just like follow you everywhere, but he wouldn't get involved. So like a probation officer. Or like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I was just like, maybe he's her carer, and like fair play. I don't know why.
Officer.
I'm like,
anyway. So like I remember the last time I saw you before you moved to China, because obviously China's where we became like great friends. Here's me fucking mashing my fingers together as if that means something for people that are just listening. But like before oh my god, excuse me. Like before, like China was where we became really good friends.
Yeah. I don't think we knew it. We didn't. I wouldn't say to people we knew each other before she moved to China. I don't think we did.
We knew of each other.
It's like when you see someone in the pub, like I knew who she was, but I didn't know who she was.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know who she was. But like you'd been here for how long before I messaged you?
A couple of months.
Yeah. And
like, it wasn't that long.
Yeah. And I hit you up on Instagram like, hey, how's China? And you're like, yeah, you know, all right. And I decided to lead with being a chronic oversharer. So me and my ex have just broken up after nearly a decade.
I was sat on my bed and I was like, yikes. I was like, oh shit. Where do I go from this? Like, what do I say? What I said was, come to China.
Literally, like, I remember you being like, if you ever fancy hitting up China, you know, let me know. And boy, did I hit you up.
You hit me the fuck up.
Yeah, man. So, yeah.
But honestly, like, we both said in the past, haven't we, that, like, while you're in China, so many people... message you like, oh, I want to move, because it's like such a thing, like a big thing to do. Mm-hmm. Like it's fun and everyone wants to travel and blah blah. But like 9.5 times out of 10, no one follows through with it. Mm-hmm. And I didn't actually believe you were going to come until
I was on that train to London.
Yeah, like going to the British Embassy, and I thought, oh shit, she's coming. And I texted Mum like, oh, that bed is actually moving, you know.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, that'll be cool.
Yeah. And
then I went to like a little solo trip to Thailand for Valentine's Day, and then when I came back, it was a couple of days later.
Yeah. Yeah, because I brought you burn cream for your leg, where you'd put that, you'd have that horrible burn from that bike on your leg, and yeah. And
then fucking exhaust of a motorbike burnt me leg. I'm still scarred now.
Oh, mate, that looked so grim. When you sent me that picture, because you were like, nah, don't bring me any burn cream. And then when I showed my mum that picture, she was like, get in the car, we're going to fucking Boots.
I just don't really care. Like, I'm going to be a nurse. And I'm like, nah, don't even worry about it. I don't need it. And it was so deep that you could literally see like an inch of my skin gone. Like, it was like an inch deep. It was honestly horrendous.
Oh, I remember you
and that was all to save someone's friggin' phone. I leant off my bike to save someone's phone in the street and burnt my leg.
I remember when you like met me at the hotel, your leg got stuck to the bed, and I remember just being like, oh my god.
Oh my god. I remember that. And I was like, oh no, you've just met this bed and she might lose the deposit on a hotel because your gungy scab is getting stuck on her bed sheets.
Oh, do you remember that first night we were in the hotel? I remember standing outside waiting to meet you. I had no signal because I didn't have a Chinese SIM card yet. I was stood outside like, what if this bird hates me?
Honestly, I was so nervous that you'd hate me too. Like, I was like, I think there's not many people I know that, like, from the minute I've met them, like, we've got on. Like, I think that's so rare. And, like, I think because you've got friends from, like, school that you sort of take, like, what a friend is for granted. Mm-hmm. Like, they're just, for a lot of people, it's just someone who's been there forever. But, like, I just remember when we first met, we got on, like, a house on fire. We were, like, the same sort of people. And I just thought, I wish I'd been friends with this girl for so long because, like, we've both said, haven't we, like, we can be ourselves, like, entirely, like, in front of each other.
But, like, I remember that first night I'd been travelling 18 hours and you brought me some bread that was furry but meaty at the same time, and I was like, this is the most disgusting thing I've ever had in my mouth, and I've had some questions
from a bakery, by the way. I didn't just find this in a fucking bin. It was from a bakery.
It's a Chinese pastry thing. We watched a David Dobrik compilation the first night I was there.
Did we?
We did, yeah. And we...
oh my god, I love that so much. Did we?
Yeah, because you remember...
That rings a bell.
I brought all your Christmas presents over. I brought your MacBook over. And you were like, do you know what we're going to do, Queen? We are going to watch David Dobrik because you look like you need a laugh. And I was like, I literally do need a laugh, thank you.
David Dobrik, for fuck's sake.
Literally.
Wow, talk about, like, fucking paving the way for our friendship. Said it all, really, don't it?
And then you spent a couple of nights in that hotel with me, because we got, like, 2 beds in there. I mean, little did we know we were going to share a bed for 7 weeks, not even a year later.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. But yeah, that's another story for another time.
Basically, we became very, very close. Not gay close.
We are both gay, but we're not gay close.
We have gay relationships, but this specific relationship is not a gay relationship. Oh Christ.
Honestly, we had to live together because my agency decided to leave me homeless for a little while and think, hey, do you know who else has got a room? Cassie, she's got a big bed. Sam could share with Cassie. And that's how that ended.
My bed was roughly the size of a disabled bathroom, and my bed had springs coming out of it.
Oh, my God.
Horrific. And somehow we managed to smash it for 7 weeks. Yeah, I wanted to kill Sam sometimes. Yeah, she wanted to kill me sometimes. Yeah. Did we get a little bit too intimate when I got a sore back and she had to oil me up? Maybe. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do.
Honestly, okay. I think the most intimate thing was when I was about an inch from your face and you were listening to Lorde trying to fall asleep, and I was like, will you turn that fucking music off? I'm going to kill you.
You'd listen to Liability for like the 30th time. You were like, turn that shit off right now before I put my fingers around your throat and strangle you. And I was like, okay.
and I snore 2 nights, and you're like, Sam, I'm gonna kill you.
Oh my god, I forgot about you snoring. That is actually ridiculous. I can put up with a lot of things going on in my bedroom, but Sam snoring was such piss take. Like, oh my god.
Fuck off.
Still love you though, bro.
I had a chest infection. Leave me alone.
For the whole fucking time.
But no, like we ended up staying in the hotel for a few nights until we found my accommodation. And then you helped me get all moved in. But while we were there, obviously anyone who's moved to China, which I realise that's, you know, a lot of people, knows that there is a little bit of an adjustment period. And
A little bit.
yeah, and one of the nights you were like, right, Sam, let's go. I'm going to take you to China World Mall, which is a big bougie mall in the middle of Beijing.
Couldn't have took you to a restaurant around the corner, couldn't I? No.
Literally. Now that I know exactly where we were as well, there were so many places we could have gone where we didn't have to spend 250 RMB on 3 portions of dumplings.
Fuck's sake. It tasted like Mackey's burgers as well, which is just insane for China. Like,
they were dumplings with beef and cheese. Like, what the fuck is that?
Might I add, my mate and boss, Vicky, then texts me like, that's Taiwanese, like that's a Taiwanese restaurant, not Chinese. And I was like, do you know what? Of course it is. Of course. I took her for a Chinese meal and it wasn't even Chinese. Of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
She was like, yeah, there's one around the corner from my house in Taiwan. And I was like,
sick.
I'm not going to tell Sam that. Let us live in the dream that was all China.
But yeah, and then in the taxi to the mall, I just remember I'm like looking at the bright lights of Beijing, just like, wow, I live in China. And I heard you turn around and we like looked at each other and you go,
oh my God.
I'm pretty sure you're as sex positive as I am, right? And I was like, uh-oh. What's about to happen? What's going on?
Excuse me, sir, can you please stop this taxi?
And you were just like, no, because I remember being like, uh-oh, what? And you're like, no, I just mean like, if I, you know, tell you something, I feel like we have the same values, and I get the impression you're not very judgy, and I certainly don't strive to be judgy. And I was like, no, why? What? Tell me. And you're like, okay, so, and then Cassie.
Oh, God. So, possibly one of my favourite memories in China, to be quite honest with you. Like, maybe that's a weird thing to say, but it was a great time. It was just before you arrived, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, because
so it was still
you
like,
were still kind of in the midst of it as I got there. Really.
Yeah. And, like, I didn't have, like, a big group of mates that could be like, so, this is what I did. But basically one night, I'll tell you guys, like, using my mate, this is what I did. I went to Café de la Poste, which is, like, a little French bar.
Still not been yet.
It's incredible. You need to go.
It sounds amazing.
One of my favourite bars. Pardon?
It sounds amazing. Like, a few people that I've spoken to
lovely.
lately have recommended it very highly. It was on Date Night China's, like, ideal place for first dates, I think.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I'm living proof for that, bro. Successful dates.
Spoilers.
So I'm in Café de la Poste on my own, being a pretentious little white poetry bitch, writing on my own. And just like to point out that I had a t-shirt on that said "Love is love." Mm-hmm. So I'm sitting there on my own, and then this woman comes over to me. She is Chinese, and she says, like, can she sit next to me, or can she sit on this table? And, like, in Café de la Poste, they're all tabled of 4, so I'm taking up a table of 4, and there's not many tables. Mm-hmm. So, of course, I'm going to say, yeah, like, that would be selfish of me. She sits down, and, pardon me, and she was like, I'm drinking beer, I'm not just a gassy bitch. She was like, can I sit next to you? And I was like, yeah, sat down. And then she started speaking to me, and I was like, oh, she wants to, like, sit with me, not, like, sit at the table. So we're talking, like, all night, and she said that she's engaged to be married, and she's waiting for a fiancé, and, like, in hindsight, she was waiting for a fiancé for a long time, like, a long time. And then he arrives, and he's from Taiwan, And he was like, would you ladies like a drink? And I was like, 50 kwai for a White Russian. Yes, I'd like a drink. Thank you kindly. I will have 2 if you're offering. So then we all sat and drank until Cafe de la Post shut, which is early in the morning. Nice. And then they were like, do you want to come back to our apartment? And you know when you're at that time of night where you're like, I just want to continue drinking, but it's a really bad idea.
Yeah.
And you probably shouldn't.
All the bars, bars are closed. Let's go back to someone's gaff.
A random person's apartment. So I packed up my poetry books and my pens.
Oh my God.
Took myself.
You said a lot of gay things. Packed up my poetry books and my pens.
My portable charger, my sparkly pens and my poetry books. And we headed in a DD to their apartment, which was beautiful. So we sat there and it was like just the 3 of us, and they're telling me that they're going to get married, and they're telling me about like their like pre-wedding photo shoot, because you do that in China. And they're like, basically we like have this thing that we want to do. And I was like, oh yeah, what's that? And I'm very drunk at this point. I'm like 16 White Russians in, which is not an exaggeration.
Jesus
like I drink
Christ.
them fast. And then they give me a bottle of fucking Qingdao, and I'm like,
honestly,
swinging that.
I'm just so impressed, because 16 White Russians, that is so much milk to suddenly mix with beer. Like, honestly, mate.
Honestly, what was going through my head, I don't know. I couldn't be like, oh, can I have a glass of milk? You know what I mean?
Can I have a vodka and milk, please?
What mixer do you have? Yazoo. So, I'm just sitting listening to them, and then they're like, sorry, Sam's still laughing.
I'm so sorry, that mixer, that Yazoo mixer really caught me off guard, that.
Living in my childhood. So, I'm listening to them, and they're saying that before they get married, he would like to have sex with another woman. And she wants to sleep with a woman for the first time. And I was like, do you know what? Like, fair play to you both. Like, if he's comfortable enough to suggest that in his relationship, that, like, to be loyal for the rest of our time, I want to sleep with someone else other than you, because he'd never slept with anyone. And if she's saying that she wants to explore that side of his sexuality before she's, like, locked down in this commitment, which, like, you know, people in China really do think that it's, like, such a huge commitment, which it is, but, like you have to be loyal. They want to do that, then fine. So I'm sitting there fascinated. And he's like, I want to sleep with a woman, and she wants to sleep with a woman for the first time. So I'm sitting there like, yeah, okay. Not realising that I'm on a fucking casting couch. Like literally, I didn't realise I'm wearing a t-shirt that clearly states that I'm queer. We'd spoken about me having past boyfriends, so he knew that I was interested in men as well as women. And they're both telling me, like, we both want to sleep with a woman, and you are in our apartment.
Hello.
So I was like, so it just sort of hit me all of a sudden. Like a ton of bricks hit me, and I was like, okay. They mean me. All right. Got ya. And I got excited. Like, I was like, fuck yeah. Okay. Like, I'm down for this. Immediately turned on, like, the charm, and was like, spoke to the woman, and I said, have you ever kissed a girl? And she said no, and I said okay, and I kissed her. And
love that big top energy,
always. And she said that she enjoyed it. I said I enjoyed it too.
Should fucking hope so.
And then I said, do you want to move this into the bedroom? And I don't think I said those exact words, because that's very, you know,
cliche
Hollywood film.
Yeah.
But I was basically like, you know, let's go. So then basically, I slept with them both separately that night. I don't know how it happened, but it did, and it was fucking boss. And then I left feeling satisfied.
Good.
They left feeling satisfied. Well, I left with them feeling satisfied. It was great. And then I remember walking home very early in the morning, and I
you didn't even get a DD.
No, I didn't, because this is like, if you remember, I didn't get the proper DD app until you arrived.
Oh my God,
it was like major complication, right? So I walked for a long time.
Wow.
Yeah, man. And I text my mum, like, walking home, and she was like, walk of shame, is it? And I was like, oh, Lord Jesus.
No.
That's strange for my mum to say, but yes, it is a walk of shame. And she was like, weren't you with a couple last night? And I was like, shut the fuck up, Mum. This is none of your business. Please don't do that to me. And she was like, not going to say anything, Cassie, but I hope you had a good time. And I was like, boy, did I. I then left, got home, and then a couple of days later, I got a text from them, and then I met up with them again, and then we had a threesome, and that was equally as wonderful. And I'd never really wanted a threesome, like I told you this at the time, didn't I? Never been on my radar, like, ever.
Yeah.
So it was interesting. I really enjoyed it. Would I have another one? Yes, but I wouldn't actively, like, seek one out. And then I just kind of called it quits a bit, because that's when you were there and they got a bit intense, didn't they?
Yeah. From what I remember anyway, because it was all quite new to me then, and I was dealing with quite a lot of stuff, like, I remember obviously you telling me, but I don't remember, like, exactly what went down. I just remember you being like, I'm not comfortable with this anymore, and it's not fun. It's not fun anymore, so I'm going to take myself out of the situation.
It's always difficult being a third, and I'm sure we'll have an episode about being a third at some point. But it went from, like, a really fun night out and, like, a really, like, sexy story to tell, and, like, something that, like, I enjoyed, to them being, like, a bit intense, and they constantly wanted to see me, and I was very aware of their relationship, and I didn't want to ruin that, and it was just, the whole thing was a lot. So then I decided to call it quits, and luckily it ended in a nice way, so I can tell the story and laugh. But I feel like if we continued, it would have been like, oh my God, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Please.
But yeah,
I remember going to work though and telling my boss, who was like my best mate in China, and I told her, and she was like, what? And I was like, yeah, man. And she's like, this weekend? And I was like, yeah. She was like, oh my God, you are crazy. And I was like, yeah, this is the first time I've kind of said it out loud. And she was like, I want to be you. And I was like, Vicky, honestly, I'll take you out. We can go anywhere. I'll get you a nice couple if you like. And she was like, no,
thank you.
I don't mean that, Cass.
Well, that might have been the first time you said it out loud, but now you're telling this story for thousands of people to hear.
I hope my mum wasn't listening, to be quite honest. I mean, she knows, but also my mum knowing I'm telling the world, a bit different.
Yeah. I mean, if you're listening, gal, please turn off.
Your reaction to that story was comforting, though. I didn't want you to be like, why would you do that? That's dangerous. You
no, like, God, no. Okay. I remember sitting in the taxi just being like, whoa! Like... all right, I'm not like whoa as in like whoa, a threesome, cool, just like whoa. Whoa, this bitch has trusted me with this information, and we've known each other approximately 1 week.
Well, you know, clearly an open book, aren't I?
Clearly. And I mean, you know, since then you've taken nudes for me, so I feel like we've established some pretty good and flexible boundaries.
Yeah.
So yeah, since then, you know, you've taken nudes for me, and you know, rearranged your whole bedroom in my honor.
that is a moment right there.
Literally.
Like, these were some tasteful nudes, might I add. Like, that was the start of my photography career. Absolutely stunning.
Yeah,
I enjoyed every minute of that.
As did I. I mean, whacking on that red mood lighting on the laptop, getting me little baby doll on, because I remember I just felt so shit about myself, and you were like, because I remember I went through a phase where I was sending nudes to not various people, to a certain person, and I remember I showed one to you because, like, at that point we were pretty comfortable with each other, and like I'm not really too bothered who sees my boobs because I've got a cracking set of tits. It's just a body, really, innit? And I remember I showed you this picture and you were like, Sam, why is your face in this nude? And I was like, why? What? And you were like, mate.
To an ex-partner, by the way, like an ex-partner. I just want to say that because if you were to get a partner now and your face was in it, I'd be like, okay, but this is the certain circumstances. Don't show your face in a fucking nude.
Yeah. You were just like, first cardinal rule is don't show your face in a fucking nude. Like, and I was like...
And you were like, oh, shit.
I was like, but why? And you were like, have you ever sent a nude before? And I was like, honestly, no. And you were like, all right, listen, queen. And I felt so shit about myself at the time. You were just like, you know what we're going to do? We're going to put some mood lighting on. We're going to put a baby doll on you. And we are going to take some tasteful nudes. And we did. And since then, I have been an unstoppable force.
The standard Cassie mood lighting. That is my signature lighting, the red lighting.
10 hours of red lighting on YouTube.
Shh, don't out me.
Yeah,
if I've ever sent nudes to anyone listening, I'm so sorry that the illusion has just been ruined.
Shattered. But yeah, I mean, it just made me, obviously that kind of incident was, I don't want to say the catalyst of being more self-accepting, but it kind of was. Like, I feel a lot more comfortable taking pictures of myself now. Even if I'm not sending them to anyone, I'll take pictures of myself. If I'm feeling myself, I'm going to take a nude.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Sure, mate. Makes you feel bad. Like, I suggest that to anyone if you're feeling like shit. Just, like, whack some lingerie on, put some mood lighting on, make yourself feel sexy, and you're going to feel better.
And
However, there has been times where I've tried to do that and they've turned out poorly, and then I've been in a worse mood. But that's a risk you got to take, really.
And I mean, sometimes I will favourite a good nude, and the amount of times I've accidentally shown someone a nude has been more than I can count. So, I mean, again, that doesn't bother me too much. It tends to bother the other person. So I jump in there with like, oh, sorry, them's me tits.
Sorry you had to see that, but also, you're welcome.
But yeah, I mean, this was around the time that I decided to start, like, dating and, like, using Tinder. And, like, you know, as, you know... best friends do, you know, when I was feeling a little bit like, oh, I don't want to go out and meet there, you kind of literally did take my dating life by the balls.
Yeah.
And you were like, right, Sam, we're going out.
Yeah.
So I got on Tinder, and like I'd had a few matches and people had invited me out on dates, and I was like, yeah, I'll go, and then pussied out at the last minute. And, like, I remember you coming back from the bathroom and you're like, the second I wet this beauty blender, we are going out. So you tell me if we're going on this or not. He wanted to meet you.
He wanted to meet you. And then you were like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to do it. I don't know if I'm going to do it. And I was standing up like, come on, let's do it. Let's go. Like, we'll go together and blah, blah, blah. Like, let's go.
Trying to hype me up.
In a bar. It wasn't like a date. And then you're like, oh, I don't know. And then I got my beauty blender and I was like, Sam, the second I wet this beauty blender, we are going. And you were like, I don't know. And I was like, Sam, it's about to go under the tap. It's about to go under the tap. I ain't getting ready for nothing.
And then I matched with this guy.
We didn't go that night.
No, we did not go. I matched with this guy from Germany who was in China for a couple of months. And he asked me to meet the next day. I think we matched about 11 o'clock at night. And he was like, do you fancy maybe going out for some food and a drink the next day? And I was like, yeah, do you know what? Let's do it. And you were like, he seems nice. You should go. And then it got to the next morning and I was like, Cass, I can't do it. I'm literally going to cancel. I can't do it. And you were like, first of all, bitch, find your chill. And second of all, you are going. And I'm like, nah, I'm not going. You are gonna have to make me.
Oh my god.
You are gonna have to make me.
I was like, pull your fucking pussy up. We are going on this date. I am going to follow you. And you're going to fucking enjoy it. And boy, all of those things happened apart from Sam enjoying it.
Yeah, and you were just like, honestly, if it makes you feel more comfortable, I will follow you, because it was like my first ever Tinder date. I didn't know what to expect. I hadn't dated in nearly 10 years. It's a whole new world.
Yeah.
And you were like, fine, if it makes you more comfortable, I will follow you. I'll stay a safe distance behind. Also, I'm going to bring Lex. And like, I remember you phoning Lex like, hey, Sam has a Tinder date. I'm going to, we're going to follow her. Do you want to come and have some bevies in Sanleyton? And Lex understandably was like, bit weird, but all right. Yeah, sure. Why not? I'm down.
Honestly, that's Lex all over, really, isn't it? Just
literally.
Like, I mean, that's fucking weird, but I'm definitely down for it.
So yeah, we get in this DD, and the whole time I'm there, I'm fucking shitting myself. And you're like, "Will you just calm down? This is just another fella. It doesn't have to be anything, Sam." And I'm like, "Yeah, but what if he wants to do this? What if he wants to do this?" And you're like, "Just say hello to him, and then just see what happens."
Yeah,
like that is it.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm like? I tend to just get myself in like tears. I get really flustered. So, like, we split up, me and you. You and Lex went to the Bookworm ahead of us. Got yourself ready. And then I met him. And we walked to the Bookworm. Rest in peace.
Oh.
Yeah, man. And we were sat at a table. We were sat down by the waiter. Literally, maybe 2 meters from you and Lex. And I remember...
Listen, I said I'd follow. I didn't say I'd be subtle.
I remember, like, looking over at you. Not, like, looking, but I remember, like, scanning the room. And I, like, made awkward eye contact with you. And I was like, oop, there she is. And
little bitch.
I could see you trying not to look at me. And, like, because I know if... I can tell when you're trying not to look at me because you're going to laugh. And I could tell that if you had, like, looked at me at all, you would have done your signature giant laugh.
Oh, God. It's such a good job that, like, your back was to me, though. Like, half to me. Or we would have just been, like, staring at each other out the whole time.
Literally.
And, like, I think the only time I didn't stare at you both was during the time I was eating my full English. When my food arrived, I was like, right, they can do whatever the fuck they want. Then I ate my breakfast, and I was like, right, back to staring at Sam. And there's this picture, which is honestly my favourite picture ever. And we'll put it on our Instagram, which is from tops to bottoms, by the way. And it's me. It's like that cliche, like, newspaper thing in it, where you cut 2 holes out the newspaper, but it was that, but with like a huge thesaurus or dictionary or something. And I'm just like looking at you, and like people must be like, why is this white bitch reading a fucking English thesaurus in China? Like, what is she doing? Like, come on now. And then yous moved, didn't you?
Well, yeah, before we left, I, like, went to the bathroom to text yous and let you know what the crack was. And little did I know you had both already fucking followed me, like, the second I stood up. Because I remember sitting on the toilet texting you, like, all right, team, and you were like, we're out here.
Oh, my God. Literally barged into the bathroom, like, hello, sugar, we are here. How is the date? And you were like, for fuck's sake, guys, why did you follow me?
So yeah, because you just wanted to check in. You were like, do we need to follow you to the next place? And I was like, probably not, he seems all right. And you were like, okay, but we're gonna do it anyway. And we ended up
yeah, I forgot about that. You were like, nah, and I was like, yeah, but that's what I've planned to do.
We're sharing a taxi home, so I'm staying with you.
Yeah.
So yeah, we went to Blue Frog in Sanleyton. We got some burgers. He ordered a mango daiquiri, which I absolutely loved because it was buy one get one free, and he gave me the free one. And I love it when men order big fruity cocktails. I just love it.
Yeah. Such big dick energy.
Oh, literally. And we chatted. He told me about how he punched a Nazi in the face, which was a good story, I'll admit. And he was...
Which, do you know what? It was a really good story, so points to you, mate.
Yeah, and like he was a nice enough fella. He asked me a lot.
Honestly, Sam, sorry, but you're sitting there with a guy drinking a fruity cocktail who punched a Nazi in the face, who gave you the free cocktail. What went wrong?
I wasn't ready. I just wasn't ready. And like,
Pussy.
I think my problem was I went in with my guard up, and I wasn't.
You just didn't want to be there.
Yeah, and like I knew like a first date was going to have to happen at some point. And you know what? If he is listening, I'm so sorry for the way things like turned out, because like that date wasn't like the last time we spoke. You know, I did ghost him, and then got in touch with him, and then ghosted him again. But like in the honestly,
stone cold bitch.
Absolute. Honestly, it's not one of my proudest moments, and I do feel really bad about it. But like, I was dealing with a lot of my own shit. Yeah, but you know what?
Like, it sounds bad, and you felt guilty, and you grew from that, and you apologized, and that is all you can do. You held yourself accountable, and that is all you can do. You apologized. He
did not accept my apology.
He did not.
No, he did not accept my apology.
Did he not?
No, he did not. And honestly, absolutely fine.
How do you know that he didn't?
He told me he did not accept my apology. Yeah. The last time I got in touch with him to apologise for ghosting him a second time, he's like, honestly, Sam, I don't accept. And I was like, honestly, mate, fair enough. Like, I just want you to know that I'm sorry, and I completely get it. And he's like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah. We talked for like a little bit afterwards, and then he ghosted me, so like he got his own back, I guess.
I mean, you deserved it, kid.
Yeah. But like the first time before I ghosted him, and we were like talking over text and stuff, like he was super into me, and I didn't feel comfortable at all. And like he was like, we'd met once, and it was around the time that I was talking about getting my nipple pierced, and he was like, I have a theory about girls with piercings and tattoos. And I was like, do go on, fella. And he was like, I have a theory that girls with tattoos and piercings like getting their boobs slapped, spanked, and choked. And I was like, first of all, mate, we do not appreciate stereotypes in this household, and second of all, I really don't want my titties slapped.
Who says that? I mean, like, it's just a bit of an odd thing to say. And do you know what? Again, I don't kink shame. Like, I'm into the weirdest shit. But like, why are you starting with you want to slap those titties? Like,
also, why start with I have a theory about girls with tattoos and piercings? It's like,
not even a theory.
Yeah, it's like, why? If that's something that you wanted to do with me, open that dialogue and say, this is what I'm into. Do you fancy giving it a go? I probably would have been a little bit more receptive if he'd said that, rather than just like, all right, well, fuck your stereotypes. Like,
yeah.
So yeah, that's how that went down. And I've used Tinder.
Do you know what?
Since,
I can't think of any like other dating situations we've had. We had a few others. Like we went to the
speed dating.
What's it called? The speed dating. Yeah, I went to speed dating. We had several situations, like encounters with people at other occasions, but they were like our main stories in China. I think, like, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, and to be fair, there's some cracking stories. Like, if that story isn't told at my funeral, and my kids don't go, fucking hell, my ma was a bad bitch.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be fuming.
I mean, personally, I would love if the story of me on my knees in South Korea airport was told, but...
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So...
Oh my god, Sam had this online dom, and like he had this rule. Oh my god, this whole weekend was just a disaster. He had this rule that like she had to like get on her knees What time?
Every morning
7?
after I woke up, and every evening before I went to bed.
Wow. And she had to send him a picture. And we went to South Korea, and she had to, like, keep it up. And I was like, don't worry about it, bro. I'll take the picture for you. Like, I've took worse pictures. And, oh my God, like, we get stared at anyway, but, like, Sam on her knees. Oh my God. It was just hilarious. And then she, like, propped her phone up on her bag. She didn't want me to take it.
Because I felt that was the line. Here's me in South Korea airport panicking, like, Cassie, this guy's expecting my pictures any minute now. It's 1:00 in the morning. What are we gonna do, bro? And you're, like, exhausted on this bench, like, don't know, Sam, take care of the fucking problem yourself. So I'm like, I've got my big green bag with my phone propped up on the top of it, and I'm wearing a t-shirt with Milhouse from The Simpsons on it, and
that is literally the cherry on the top of the cake. And Milhouse, continue.
And, like, I've got 2 braids in my hair, and I'm on my knees with my palms up on my thighs, gaze averted, and, like, I took this picture, and I remember just looking up and meeting your eyes, and you just shook your head slowly, and you were like, Sam, I haven't got time for this. And I was like,
We've
what?
been in the airport for so long. Like, if this was just, like, randomly, like, or, like, we hadn't been in the airport for 10 hours, I would probably be like, yeah, you go, girl. But I was just, and you'd already kept me awake for fucking ages looking at stupid videos on Twitter. So I was just like, you do what you need to do, but I'm going to fucking do what I want to do. And that is judge you. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I miss him. He was nice.
Yeah. Yeah, he was nice. I honestly literally don't remember how that ended. I think I ghosted him.
Nor do I.
I honestly don't remember.
Wow, you bitch. Do you know what? You being best friends with
dickhead.
someone who's against ghosting so much, she seems to have ghosted a lot of people.
I'm not very good at having confrontational conversations. Like, I'm not good at speaking my truth. But yeah, like, I just feel like China is one of those places. I've always kind of said this, like, China, like, makes or breaks people, I think. And me and you both came to China in what I feel are quite pivotal moments in our lives.
Yeah.
We'd both been through incredibly rough times, and I don't want to be like, we found each other, but we genuinely found each other. And I think, well, I mean, I don't know about you, but you've helped me in so many ways. You know, I've recently come out as a bisexual woman. I have been a lot more accepting of who I am. I'm still on that journey, but going back and looking at us when we first arrived or before we were in China to now, like, I'm so proud of you and everything you're doing, and I'm proud of me and everything that I'm doing. And I think that we've come so far and done so many amazing things because we've surrounded ourselves with that love and support from each other. And I don't want to, suck each other's nipples or anything, but, like, I really, I really do think that, we've had such a good time.
Yeah, for sure. I think that, like, me and you becoming friends has 100% changed my life. Like, I'm someone that always, like, really wants to, like, be themselves. Mm-hmm. And, like, I always, in my head, thought I was, but then to have someone just around me just constantly, like, validate who I am and, like, constantly support every single thing I want to do was, like, whoa. And, like, I didn't think I had a bad group of friends around me, but, and I didn't, but they just weren't, like, you that would, like, force me to do the stuff I wanted to do or, like, push me to be a better person. And honestly, I think you're right. Like, China does make or break you. And I think it was definitely a bit of both. It was obviously really hard for both of us, but, like, it definitely did make me, and I would not be the person I am today if, like, you hadn't moved to China or I hadn't moved to China and then you moved. Like, I definitely wouldn't be.
So yeah, emotional. And look at us now with a podcast,
thriving.
Yeah. So what did we say our schedule's going to be? Every week, every Friday, we're doing these episodes?
Honestly, you're the organised one, so...
I love how I led that with a question to prompt you to talk about it, but I know exactly the schedule. So, every Friday... We're aiming for weekly.
You think I know that shit?
Friday. We're aiming for Fridays. We're going to do our main episode. We'll be different topics most weeks. Obviously, you know,
honestly, I don't think we've actually discussed what we're going to be speaking about, but we're going. It's a wide variety of things. We're both very much into like BDSM. We're both very sex positive. We were going to be speaking a lot about like dating and relationships and like sex, casual sex. Probably a little bit about mental health. Probably a little bit about everything really. Like,
yeah. And not to mention, we are a couple of queers, so...
Did you get that message? Me and Sam are both gay. Did anyone... if you didn't hear that, then I will say it one more time, but me and Sam are both gay. Gay. Queers. We haven't said that enough. But yeah, we've got a lot of fun things in store. Yeah. We do have a list of things, but let's not give spoilers.
Yeah, so Fridays we're going to be doing our episodes, and we'd like to aim to do a short aftercare session on Wednesdays. Yeah. So what we're going to try and do is, obviously we've cheekily plugged our Instagram a couple of times, which is @FromTopsToBottoms, and we want to open the floor to you guys. Do you have any questions for us? Any questions about China? Any questions about the podcast released on Friday? We can address that, maybe update anything that we want to, and then we'll have our normal episode on the Friday after. So that'll be Wednesdays aftercare, Friday normal episodes.
Yeah, so the aftercare episode will always be like a recap of the first episode, the episode beforehand. So if we're talking about our first time having sex, then the aftercare episode will be questions from you guys after hearing that episode.
Yeah. Or even stories that you want to tell.
Yeah, like it'll be a different thing, but it will be a shorter episode and just a little bit of a recap. I feel like that's quite nice to have.
One spoiler I do want to give about a future podcast is I am going to be reading some of my old Good Charlotte fan fiction.
Oh my god.
So definitely make sure you stick around for that shit, because I promise it is worth it.
Honestly, you think that that's not relevant, but it is. It really, it's upsettingly relevant to a sex podcast. Upsettingly. Like, you're in for a ride. Sam first read it to me, and it was the first time I thought, who the fuck is this bitch? Who the fuck is this bitch? Like, what? What have I got myself in for?
So yeah,
that's exciting.
Yeah, as we've mentioned, you can find us on Instagram at From Tops to Bottoms. You can find me at Samantha in BJ.
You can find me on Instagram at radicallove.co.uk, and my website is radicallove.co.uk.
So next week we're going to try and do something related to Pride Month and our coming out stories, and yeah, so that's very exciting.
Yikes.
Yeah. So
it depends on who you are. If that's very exciting, I'm a bit nervous, to be honest.
Yeah, me too, to be quite honest.
Okay, well, thanks for listening. I think I've enjoyed filming this, to be honest. It's been a ride, and I really hope that my mum wasn't listening, to be quite honest.
Oh my god, yeah, please don't.
Please.
Yeah. So
yeah, thank you so much for listening. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. It really has.
Yeah, and catch you all next time. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.